If there's one thing I've learned watching men try to impress women, it's this. The harder you try, the less she sees you. You think attention equals attraction. You think showing her how much you care will make her want you back. But here's the brutal truth. What you chase, you teach to run. Every time you bend over backward to get noticed, you train her to believe you don't matter. Because the man who truly matters never chases attention. He becomes the kind of man attention can't ignore. You've seen it play out. A guy meets a girl and instantly shifts into performance mode. He talks louder. He laughs too much. He checks her eyes for approval after every joke, like a dog waiting for a treat. And she can feel it. The desperation behind the smile. The quiet hunger for validation. She won't say it out loud, but something in her body turns off. The mystery's gone. The tension collapses. She knows exactly where you stand, and in that moment, the game is over. See, attraction isn't built on attention. It's built on presence. Presence is that invisible force that makes people notice you without you saying a word. It's the way you carry yourself when you don't need anything from anyone. It's calm, grounded, unapologetically masculine. The men who understand this don't compete for a woman's gaze. They walk into a room and the air changes. Not because they're loud, but because they don't shrink. They don't fill silence with noise. They let silence work for them. The problem is, most men are terrified of silence. You feel that awkward pause and you rush to fill it. You talk, you joke, you over-explain because silence makes you confront yourself. And that's the real issue. You're not afraid she'll leave. You're afraid you're not enough if she doesn't validate you. That fear radiates from your body like static. It's why she glances past you, why her texts get shorter, why you keep ending up in that same spot. Confused, overinvested, invisible. Imagine this. You're sitting across from her at a cafe. She's beautiful, confident, effortlessly composed. The waiter brings the check, and without hesitation, she reaches for her purse. You panic for a split second. Do you insist? Do you split? Do you let her? You overthink it because you're trying to get the reaction right, instead of being the man who doesn't need to. The truth is, she doesn't care who pays the bill. She's scanning for your energy. Are you calm? Are you decisive? Are you comfortable in your skin? Because if you're not, she'll feel it before you even speak. This is what most men miss. Women aren't drawn to perfection, they're drawn to certainty. Not fake confidence, the kind you post online, but the quiet certainty that comes from knowing you can walk away at any time. It's not arrogance, it's freedom. When a man no longer needs her approval, his presence becomes magnetic. His eyes stop begging. His words carry weight. And that's when she starts paying attention, not because you're performing, but because you stopped performing entirely. You can't fake this energy. You can't memorize lines, dress better, or fake dominance long enough to fool her instincts. Attraction is primal, subconscious, ancient. She reads your body language faster than you can form a sentence. She can tell if you're comfortable in your own shadow. And the moment she feels your energy reach for her approval, she knows. That's why trying too hard never works. It tells her you don't believe you're the prize. Let's make this real. Think about the last time you texted someone and waited for the reply like it was oxygen. Every minute that passed, your mind raced. Did she lose interest? Did you say something wrong? That spiral you felt, that's not attraction, that's weakness. It's your ego begging to be fed. And every time you feed it, you become more dependent. The man who can't sit in uncertainty is a man she can't trust. Because if you can't handle tension with her, how will you handle tension in life? Now picture a different kind of man. He sends a message, sets his phone down, and moves on. He's not pretending not to care. He genuinely doesn't need to chase an answer. His value doesn't hinge on her reaction. That kind of stillness, that emotional independence, is what makes him powerful. It's not about playing games. It's about not needing to. Because when you don't need anything from her, she feels it. And when she feels it, she starts needing something from you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to become that man. Not through manipulation, but through mastery. Not by faking confidence, but by embodying it. Because the truth is simple. She can't ignore the man who's not afraid to be ignored.
Let's cut straight to it. If you want to become the man she can't ignore, stop trying to impress her. Start impressing yourself. Every man who truly radiates strength operates from one brutal truth. Attention is not something you chase, it's something you attract when you no longer need it. That's the paradox. You get what you stop begging for. You've been conditioned your whole life to seek approval. Parents, teachers, society, social media, it all trains you to chase validation. Every good job, every like, every little nod of approval builds a habit. You start believing your worth depends on the world's applause. And that's why most men collapse the moment a woman's eyes are on them. They shift from being to performing, from living to auditioning, from man to mask. But here's the secret. She's not drawn to the mask. She's drawn to the man behind it, the one who doesn't flinch when silence fills the room, the one who looks her in the eye and doesn't need to be liked to feel valuable. That's the energy that pulls her in, not what you say, but the calm certainty behind it. Most guys don't even realize how obvious their neediness is. You think you're subtle, but it leaks out in every micro movement. The way your tone rises when you seek agreement, the way your posture bends slightly forward when you talk, the way you check her face for approval after a joke. She doesn't analyze it, she just feels it. It tells her everything she needs to know. And once she feels that you're performing for her attention, she knows you've already lost control of yourself. Control. That's the word no one wants to talk about. Because control sounds cold, detached, almost manipulative. But masculine control isn't about manipulation. It's about mastery. The man who has mastery over himself, his emotions, his impulses, his need for validation, becomes untouchable. Not because he hides emotion, but because he's not ruled by it. He's not a prisoner to his own reactions. Picture this. She's testing you. Maybe it's subtle. A playful tease, a sarcastic comment, a delayed text. You feel the spark of irritation, the instinct to prove yourself, to fix the moment, to pull her back in. But instead, you breathe. You let the silence stretch. You stay unmoved. And in that calm stillness, she feels something shift. She realizes you're not reacting to her. You're grounded in yourself. That's the moment her respect starts to grow. That's when attraction becomes emotional safety. Because here's the truth, women test men not to find flaws, but to find the frame. She wants to know where your boundaries are, not because she wants to break them, but because boundaries tell her she's safe. A man who can't say no can't protect anything. Not himself, not her, not his mission. When she feels your boundaries, she feels your strength. And when she feels your strength, she relaxes into her femininity. The mistake weak men make is thinking yes equals love. But love without boundaries is just chaos. You can't lead with kindness alone. You need structure. You need principles. You need to know what you stand for even when it costs you something. That's what separates men who are respected from men who are used. Think about the men you admire. Not the loud ones, not the flashy ones, the ones who move through the world with quiet conviction. You can feel it when they walk into a room. They don't demand attention, but they get it anyway. Their confidence isn't in how they speak, it's in how little they need to. They say less because they don't chase validation. And that's why people lean in when they talk. You become that man the moment you stop negotiating with your own worth. Stop asking for permission to be who you are. Stop toning yourself down so you don't make others uncomfortable. Weak men live their whole lives apologizing for existing. Strong men simply exist, and in doing so, they give everyone else permission to do the same. You want to know the difference between a man she likes and a man she can't ignore? The man she likes fits into her world. The man she can't ignore pulls her into his. He has gravity. He has direction. He has something he's building that doesn't revolve around her. She doesn't have to understand it. She just feels it. And that's what makes her want to be part of it. But you can't fake gravity. You can't pretend to have purpose for long. That's why pickup tricks and dating hacks never work long term. You might get attention, but you won't keep respect because the second your mask slips, she sees the truth. You're still chasing validation. So, what builds gravity? Discipline, direction, self-respect. The daily act of choosing growth over comfort. Every time you skip the gym because you're tired, every time you scroll instead of creating, every time you swallow your opinion to avoid conflict, you chip away at your masculine edge. You lose the polarity that makes you magnetic. The man she can't ignore isn't superhuman, he's just consistent. He keeps promises to himself. And here's the irony. Once you truly stop chasing her, she starts chasing you. Not because you played games, but because your energy shifted. You stopped trying to pull her into your frame, you built a frame so strong she couldn't look away. That's the natural law of attraction. What you embody, you attract. Let me paint this clearly. You're sitting across from her again. The conversation is easy. You're relaxed. She leans in slightly, curious. She teases you. You think you got it all figured out, huh? You smile, not the forced smile of a man seeking approval, but the calm, amused smile of a man who knows exactly who he is. You don't take the bait. You don't over-explain. You just say, not everything, just enough. She laughs. She doesn't even know why she feels drawn to you. It's instinctive. You've become the kind of man her body recognizes before her mind catches up. That's what this game really is. It's not about words, it's about energy. Women feel before they think. They respond to your state, not your sentence. That's why you can't lie with your mouth if your body's telling the truth. If you're nervous, she feels it. If you're desperate, she feels it. But if you're still, if you're grounded, calm, detached, she feels that too. And that's when she starts to soften. Most men will never reach that level because it requires something they fear. Solitude. You can't become magnetic if you're terrified of being alone. The man who can sit with his own silence, who can walk away from anyone rather than betray his own standard, that man is dangerous. Not because he's cruel, but because he's free. You can't manipulate a man who doesn't need your approval. You can't control someone who's already whole. Freedom is the ultimate attractor. When a man radiates freedom, everything chases him. Opportunity, respect, love, abundance, because freedom signals power. It tells the world, I don't need to be chosen. I choose. And that energy, that subtle shift, changes everything. You might think this sounds unreachable. It's not. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be rich, tall, or smooth. You just have to start living in alignment. Say what you mean what you say. Hold your boundaries. Walk away when it's not right. Build something that gives you purpose beyond her validation. That's how you build gravity. And every time you do, the world starts responding differently. People look at you differently. Women treat you differently. Not because they've changed, but because your energy has. You've stopped asking for permission to exist. You've become the man who doesn't flinch when tested, the man who doesn't chase, the man who can sit in silence and let the world come to him. Remember this, she's not ignoring you because you're not good enough. She's ignoring you because she can feel that you think you're not good enough. Fix that belief and everything else changes. Because the moment you stop waiting for her to see your value, you start radiating it. You don't win this game by trying harder. You win by needing less. The man who doesn't need her approval is the man every woman feels safest around. And in a world full of loud, desperate noise, that kind of quiet power is unforgettable. So stop chasing, stop begging, stop explaining. Let silence do the talking. Let stillness speak louder than words. Because the man she can't ignore isn't the one who tries to be chosen. He's the one who already chose himself. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to remember who you were before the world told you to perform. Strip away the noise, the fake confidence, the forced charm. Get back to that raw, grounded version of yourself. The man who stands tall not because he's trying to be seen, but because he refuses to shrink. And when you finally stand like that, when you look at her with calm eyes that say, "You can stay or you can go. I'll be fine either way," that's when she feels it. That's when every test dissolves. That's when she realizes she can't ignore you. Not because you're loud, but because you're unshakably real. You don't get noticed by shouting. You get noticed by standing still in a world that never stops running. You don't get her attention by proving your worth. You get it by living like you already know it. And you don't get her heart by needing her. You get it by mastering yourself. That's the truth no one tells you. The quietest man in the room is often the most dangerous because he's the one who doesn't need to be seen